welcome back to my channel. My name is Julia. This is your first time tuning in. I am so excited to have you here. We talk about perfume and fragrance on this channel, so if that is something that interests you, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notifications bell. So today I'm going to be doing a blind buy haul, I guess. This is my most expensive blind buy that I've ever done. It's been almost a month, I think. I got this in sort of early January, so it's not going to be a first impressions because I have actually worn the fragrance quite a bit and I can tell you my full review of it. I've worn it a lot. So the one that I purchased is by Tiziana Terenzi, and this is a niche fragrance house based out of Italy. Very sort of high-end luxury niche perfumes. So the perfumer behind this is Paolo Terenzi Porpora. So I don't have the best Italian accent. I'm sorry about that. The emblem, I think it's really beautiful packaging. It says the name here on the front. So this is an extract and the packaging is really beautiful. I think it's, you know, a nice, presentation. This is what it looks like when you open it up. This is what the bottle looks like. So this is the 100 ml bottle. I think this only comes actually in one size. So it's 100 milliliters of an Extrait. Now, as far as I know, Extrait is just a different way of making fragrance. So making fragrance. So goodness. Thank goodness that this is such durable packaging, because if that had just smashed on the ground, I would be devastated. So this actually brings me to my first point, the plus point of this fragrance. This bottle is absolutely solid. So that just dropped on the ground here and nothing happened. It actually made a little dent in my wood floor, which is not so great. Absolutely solid packaging. It's a very heavy bottle. This is a very beautiful design on the top. So this whole collection is inspired by moon, things related to the moon. Porpora is the Italian word for the red moon or the blood moon. So have you guys ever seen that? I've actually seen that once. It was actually last summer, I think. They had a blood moon here in, you could see the blood moon here in Europe. Basically the moon ends up looking bright reddy orange color. And if you actually go on the website, there is a whole story of what inspired this fragrance. And it's actually quite interesting. Apparently they were out in the garden and there was a blood moon or a red moon, and they were inspired to create a fragrance like from the garden that they were sitting in watching this red moon. So that was the inspiration behind this name. So the bottle, like I said, is really solid. It's really heavy. The lid is really heavy as well. The lid here on the top has these sort of, I don't know, it looks like something to do with astrology or like moon charts or something like that. The fact that the bottle is a solid color means that you can't actually see how much you've used. That also protects the fragrance inside, right? So it's not going to get exposed to light. The way that they make an extrait, so the way that they make an extract, is different than they make a eau de parfum. So with the eau de parfum or a parfum, it's the ingredients are distilled, and by extract, it's a different process of getting the scent out of the ingredients. So they basically extract the ingredients. I don't know exactly the whole process behind it, but it's a different way of making perfume. So it doesn't even just mean that it's necessarily stronger than an eau de parfum or a pure parfum. It just means that the process of attaining the ingredient is more expensive to make. Actually, it's a more laborious and more expensive way to get the fragrance. What I have found with the extracts is that the way that it's extracted, it smells more natural. It has a more realistic scent than if it's distilled. I'm gonna reapply some because this is amazing. So let's go into the notes. Now I am getting this straight from the Tiziana Terenzi website. So the top notes in here are Rose Absolute, raspberry, cinnamon, and cloves. Then the mid notes are Bulgarian rose, poppy, incense, and patchouli. And the base notes are chestnut wood, Benjamin, amber, musk, and myrrh. Some people say that this is kind of inspired by the Frederic Malle Portrait of a Lady fragrance. I think that's actually first why I heard about this fragrance, because people often compare the two. Now I don't own Portrait of a Lady, and I've kind of gone back and forth on wanting to purchase that. I know myself, I have a hard time wearing really, really expensive fragrances because I always feel like I have to savor them. So honestly, if I went out and bought like 100 ml of Portrait of a Lady, I would rarely wear it just because I would feel almost guilty about applying it, and I definitely would never do as I did just now, like liberally spray it on as much as I wanted. I want to buy perfume and I want to wear the heck out of it. I don't want to just have fragrance that is always like for special occasions. Now this is still an expensive fragrance, don't get me wrong. If you pay this full retail price, if you were to, you know, purchase this online or something, you can, for example, on Javoy Paris, it retails for 233 euros for the 100 ml. Now that's a lot of money and I did not pay that. I had my eye on this for about 4 or 5 months and I was always on different discount websites looking for it. And as soon as I found it at a discounter at a really good deal, I decided to go ahead and purchase it. So I ended up paying about 135 Swiss francs. So you can find this now and then on discounters. Make sure you go to a really reputable discounter. Don't buy this on eBay or something because they could be a fake. So let's go through it. When I spray this fragrance, like the first thing I really smell is this bright, fresh raspberry with rose. The opening is actually really beautiful. I just sprayed it and immediately smelled it, and I don't get this strong alcoholic scent. You know, usually when you spray a less expensive perfume, you have to kind of wait for the alcohol to kind of dissipate. This one, you definitely don't get that right away. You get this beautiful raspberry that has almost a little bit of a sour touch to it. You know how raspberries, they can be quite sweet, but if you pick them slightly unripe, they can be very, very sour. So it has this slight soury raspberry note, and I get a lot of rose right at the beginning because there is that rose absolute as the opening, and I'd get a spiciness from it because there's the cloves and the cinnamon. I don't really get a lot of cinnamon in this, but I get a lot of cloves. The cloves almost has a peppery type of vibe to it. After a while, the fragrance does settle down and I get a lot of incensey notes from it. So there is myrrh in here and frankincense. So I get this very incensey feeling that has a little bit of a smokiness, like as if the incense is burning. So the smoky aspect is more like a fragranty, incensey kind of smoky vibe. I definitely actually also smell the poppy and the amber and the patchouli. So you get this patchouli vibe. Now I really enjoy patchoulis. Maybe one of my next purchases is going to be like a pure patchouli strong fragrance because I actually really enjoy patchouli. But the patchouli gives it just depth and richness. It's not one of those like hippie type of patchoulis that kind of smells a little bit dirty. It's like this really earthy type of patchouli. And then you get, the base is like amber, but that comes more in the dry down. So once the perfume has worn for a while, you get the amber and the more of the resins come through as well. I don't really smell the musk very strongly. And I also don't really smell the chestnut wood, which was actually one note that I was really hoping to smell in here. It's just this very opulent rose. So the rose is in the opening and in the mid notes, but it has a lot of other stuff going on. So if you enjoy rose fragrances that are a little bit heavier, that are deeper and darker, then this is definitely one for you. I really, really love this fragrance. I think it's very beautiful. I think it's a very opulent, heavy rose. Now, the only thing that really kind of it kind of did disappoint me, because when I was reading reviews and I was researching this in advance, a lot of people commented that this has absolutely incredible longevity and sillage. You come in a room and everyone can smell you. Now, that's not really necessarily what I'm going for, because like I don't really want to go in a room and the first thing people are thinking, oh my God, she's wearing way too much perfume. But what I love about fragrance is being able to smell it myself. So, you know, when you have on like a collar like this and you move, and then every now and then you'll kind of get like a whiff of it. You know what I mean? Like you'll kind of move around and you're like, I smell it. You know, I can smell it for myself. And that's really what I love about wearing fragrance. And that's why niche perfumery often gives me that experience a lot longer than sort of designer, because often they just last longer and they project better. So I was actually very surprised when I did not feel that to be true for me, at least. I can smell it and it does last, but it doesn't really project very far, and it doesn't seem to project for long either. When you spray it and maybe like an hour or two, you can definitely smell it on you, and I get that experience of like smelling it when I move. But after like the 3rd and 4th hour, it becomes, on me personally, it's quite faint. And I either have to reapply or I have to really like dig my nose into the places where I've sprayed it to be able to smell it. It smells really different after a while. That's the other thing that I enjoy. This is like one of those fragrances that kind of takes you on a journey. The opening is quite different than the dry down. The dry down is more like ambery and the incense and the patchouli, and the opening is very sort of raspberry and rose. I find the projection and the lasting power not to be as amazing as I thought it would be. So like I said, I was able to purchase this at a very good price point. You know, it was still an expensive purchase, but if I had paid like 220 or 230 euros for this, I would definitely be disappointed. Yes, the smell is beautiful, but if something costs me 230 euros, like I want to be able to smell that all day on me. And I don't think it's that I'm anosmic to it. Like if I go really close like that, I can still smell it. Like I said, after a few hours, I can't really smell it on me anymore. And I can't smell it when I'm, like I said, moving around, or if I have a jacket on or a scarf and it kind of like wafts up. Like I don't get that experience. And that's what I just love about fragrance, is wearing it for myself. Yes, it's an appealing scent. It's beautiful. Like it's absolutely stunning. The opening, I think, is one of my favorite parts of this. And the opening actually lasts quite a while. That raspberry note stays around for a while. Longevity issues aside, I think it is a beautiful fragrance. And I mean, the bottle is stunning. Like definitely for this price point, I think, you know, the bottle is fabulous. It's very decadent looking. It's very heavy. So this is probably not a fragrance that I would take with me traveling. Maybe you can decant a small amount of it if you travel somewhere, because it's super heavy. You know, if you like these kind of decadent, heavy fragrance bottles, this is definitely beautiful. Let me know in the comments, what is the most expensive fragrance that you have blind bought? I would love to know if you've had success with your expensive purchases. Let me know in the comments. And if you want to see more videos, you can click on them below. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I will see you very soon. Bye.